Thank you for coming back for your daily dose. This is part of a sub-series of videos that I'm doing on a book by a man named Steve Rinella called The Meat Eater. This is the third installment of that series. If you want to go back 2 episodes ago, it'll be the one titled Meat Eater 1.0. This installment is in regards to the birth or the inception of a meat eater. But I don't know if that's necessarily an all-encompassing term, because what Ranell is talking about isn't the meat eater him or herself. This was specifically about the hunter, and the chapter opens up right away with few hunters ask other hunters how they got into hunting, because there were so many similarities to how they did it. Basically, by and large, many hunters hunt because their fathers hunted. Now, I think that's interesting. I'm actually not one of those people directly. My dad did hunt when he was growing up. However, I had never gone hunting. We had we had talked about many times about getting into the woods, but it's one of those things that just never happened. He was he was so busy making a living, making a life for my mom and me and himself and improving his station and just working, that it's one of those things that we always said we would do and we never had done. Fast forward that to when I was 16 years old, and I went with my friend Shane to do some scouting in this area up north by Gainesville called the Gothi National Forest. Before, no, Gothi State Forest. I think it's a state forest. Either way, this was the last year that my one friend's dad's club was still able to be in that forest, because Mr. Gothi had passed on. He had passed away, and he had left all that property to the state. So this was going to be the last year that those clubs got to hunt. So we actually went up there in a scouting trip in my friend's 4x4 Toyota, up in the water and everything. And it was just so great getting into these woods. Looking back, you're talking about two 16-year-old kids, and then our friend Ryan, who was with us, a couple years younger than us, with a 14-year-old kid doing their hunting scout trip by themselves. But we were very good friends, and having one of those times of our lives that we didn't really think about doing stupid things with a vehicle that you should never do by yourself. But my one friend Shane, his dad was a hunter, and my friend Ryan, his dad was a hunter, and then there I was. They were bringing me along as a brother. The the difference, I think, lies not necessarily in how did you get into hunting. I think it's one of those things that a person either wants to do or has no interest in it. How many times I get to see the difference of it. Being a a a member of a hunt club that's now become more established, you see a lot of people that show interest in it, interest in going with you, and you sort of look at them because you analyze how well they'll be able to handle it. It's not like camping at the KOA. Our club, the area that we're in right now, there's no electricity, no running water. There's nothing you are going to have at that camp that you do not bring with you. Nothing at all. And we go up there for the singular purpose of hunting. So the things that we do in camp, whether it's eating or watering ourselves or resting or whatever, work to serve the purpose of that hunt. So the people that are there we're not there to see and do the normal things that people that are recreational camping are doing. We are not an extended, but we're on a hunting party, and it's a very different process. I did find it interesting about the question of how did you get into hunting from Steve Rinella, because I think his sentence is true for those who who grew up hunting, who have never known anything different, versus people like me who, when I finally got around to hunting, it was only 2 years ago. I got into hunting when I was in my mid 30s. I don't. That's in my opinion, a pretty late start, and in a way, it's sort of something that I'm a little bit ashamed of. I'm a Southern person. I consider myself an outdoorsman, a woodsman. Stereotypically, hunting is something that I should have been doing all along. Now, people could tell me that I shouldn't be ashamed of what I am, or how late I got into this. But there's a process of being a greenhorn that you just can't get around. There should be some shame in the mistakes that you make. If you've been told differently already, yet you repeat what you've done and you ruin the hunt, that is a shameful thing, a very shameful thing. Coming out of the woods without a harvest is a shameful thing. I've said in the past that the hunt isn't necessarily the harvest, but this year, my third season into it, I feel differently. I feel that if you lose sight of the goal of pulling something out of the woods, then you're no longer hunting. And I think if you go too far in the one direction of, well, the hunt start, like what Ted Nugent and Fred Bear would always say, like the hunt begins at the first plan, and then it climaxes with the kill, and then everything's down from there. It still needs that kill. It still needs that expectation of the kill. It still needs that expectation of the goal. That's that's what it means to me, and that's how I got started in it. Talk to y'all later.